this is GE Math 4, and this is all about mathematics in the modern world. So again, I am Mr. Epifanio Tigli Jr., your GE Math 4 instructor. Next, course material titles. The course material titles are CM1, that's course material 1, the nature of mathematics. This will be discussed next week. Course material number 2, speaking mathematically. Course material number 3, logic. Course material number 4, mathematics of graphs. And course material number 5, statistics. So these are the things that you will be learning this second semester in our subject GE Math 4. Okay, I will not be discussing each course material. Okay, we will go on that. We will go through on that as we go on sa ato ang online class. Next, the grading system. So take note, knowledge building is 20%. The critical thinking part, that's 30%. The creating part is 40%. Now, sir, naaman to'y there are explore and engage activities. I will be giving points on that. I will be recording that. That's additional points. Like for example, if you will be having like a score here, so I'm gonna be putting that over the critical thinking or in the creating part. It's either of these two, because it's additional points. Like for example, you answered 4 items correctly. That's a plus 4 in your critical thinking. Like for example, in the critical thinking of module number 1, you got a score of 26 over 40, for example, 26 over 40, and you were able to answer 10 items correctly sa inyong explore part. So I'll be giving 10 additional points. That's 26 plus 10. That's already 36 over 40. So katong ato ang the explore activities and the engage activities, those are simply additional points. So ang grado ninyo magbase jud siya asa sa tulo ka task: knowledge building, critical thinking, and creating. Do not miss a portion there, because that will really affect your grade. And that what happened last semester sa akong classes. Kaya nga naman, dili nila ansiran ang creating part. Again, if you have an answer this, bahalag the answer is partly wrong and naay part nga sakto, I'm gonna give credit on that. Don't worry about it. Okay? Na-under biyata mo pag last, you were under me when you were first year, and I always give points sa solution part. Okay? I'm gonna do the same thing here. Okay? Are there any questions, by the way? Section 2, Confucius. Okay, let's continue. So these are the online classroom rules that we will be having. The do's of online learning. Do wear appropriate clothes. Okay? Now, attire you would normally wear inside the classroom. Put on a nice shirt during the school day and change into comfy clothes afterwards. Now, I am not requiring you to put on your uniform, but I would appreciate that you would be wearing your uniform. If your uniform is dili siya like basa or something, wear something na like a t-shirt. Do not wear sleeveless, please, or mga bearing na mga tops. Okay? I would suggest you just wear a shirt on your upper part. Next. Do create an optimal study or workplace or workspace. Pick a spot in your house where you can clearly you can clear space for your computer or your gadget, notebooks, and whatever other tools you need. Most importantly, be sure to establish your working space where you have the most reliable internet connection. Look for a spot in your house nga okay ang internet, okay ang data. Kaya I know some of you are using data. Next, do test your technology before the start of the class to ensure that they all function properly, including your smartphone, the monitor, the headphones, and the microphone. Next, do charge your gadget fully before class or simply leave it plugged in during the classes. Next, do use the restroom before class to avoid getting up multiple times throughout, because you might miss some things atong discussion, because just like atong pag first year ninyo, connected by atong mga examples. Okay? Do check your visuals before the class or meeting to ensure your background is as neutral as possible and not a distraction. Do inform the other people with whom you recite of your schedule so that they can respect your privacy as much as possible, or politely ask them not to disrupt you during certain times, or lock your door to prevent interruptions. Next, do read the course material beforehand so that you can be prepared for the course material and discussion, as well as meet any specific deadlines outlined in the syllabus. Do have drink and a snack on standby. Online courses may not involve PE or running to your next class, but you may get hungry and thirsty. Instead of getting up to grab a snack, put food and water next to you for easy access. Do log in and arrive to the virtual class on time, preferably several minutes before the scheduled start time. Be in your seat with all your materials gathered when the teacher starts the virtual class. Do use the mute function. In a busy virtual classroom, the mute function is your friend. Try staying muted during lectures and while other students are asking questions. Do participate as much as possible. Ask questions, offer answers to class questions when prompted, and take notes. Do use the chat feature responsibly. Use this space to ask for help, provide a quick answer, or give feedback to a classmate's point. And lastly, for the do's, do ignore outside online activities that may distract you from your class or meeting, such as social media websites, videos, or shopping. Block pop-ups and disable outside notifications during classes. Okay? So take note, those are the do's for online learning. These are the don'ts. Don't sit yourself around distractions like study spaces should be away from tempting diversions like TV, game console, or a family pet. Don't eat snacks without muting yourself first. Nobody wants to hear loud chewing noises. No matter what the snack is, go on mute before taking a bite. Don't turn off your camera for long periods of time. Now, there will be times that I'll be asking you to turn on your camera, and if ever turning on your camera will affect your signal, it's okay to turn it off. No problem with me. As long as you are there paying attention to the discussion, that's totally fine. Okay? Don't wait for the teacher to ask you to go on mute. If someone or something loud enters your study space, you'll want to mute yourself right away to avoid disturbing the class. Don't post links and memes in the chat. The classroom chat is not the place to socialize with your peers. Save funny videos, memes, and the GIFs that you have for private messaging with your friends. Don't blame late or missed assignments on technical issues. If you're experiencing a technical difficulty, let me know. Let your instructor know in advance and try to find an alternative way of submitting your work. Because I had a problem on this one time. One student really cannot access his Google Classroom. So what he did, ni PM lang na siya na ako, and then iyang gi-DM iyahang output. Now, that will be the last option. If there are other options nga pwede ra dyong mabuhat nga masubmit sa Google Classroom, please do, because if you will be submitting all your output in the Messenger, mapuno akong Messenger sa mga messages. Nya mabombarded, malibog na ko unsa nga section. Maunang I'm using the Google Classroom because it's very systematic. Nga, this is for your section only. All the submissions will be seen over there. And then, dili magsagol-sagol. Like for example, sa module course material 1, sa critical thinking part, na amoy part nga mo submit. Sa knowledge building part, na part nga mo submit. Sa creating part, na asay part ana for submission. Okay? Don't give up if you encounter a technical difficulty during a class. Whether it be lost internet connection or accidentally lagging out of a meeting. Make every effort to resume your attendance and participation in the class before informing your teacher of the problem. Anyways, if you'll be having technical difficulties, if you missed one portion of the class, just go to the tutorial video. Okay? No problem with that. Are there any questions with the do's and the don'ts for online learning? Everything is clear, okay? It's well discussed. Next, submission of outputs online. Submissions of outputs in the Google Classroom, please. If Google quiz forms are provided, answer them. You're familiar with quiz forms, right? Are you familiar with the quiz forms? Remember katong nag-survey ang TCC? Yes, those are quiz forms. Pero survey lang ang gigamit ato. Now, this time, I will be using quiz forms sa knowledge building and sa critical thinking. So, meaning, nana didto ang mga answers tanan. All you need to do is simply click on the correct answer. Maunay purpose nganong nag-Google quiz forms ko. And at the same time, after taking or answering the Google quiz forms, you will right away know your score. Partial score pa na siya. Nga naman, kay naamay mga Google quiz forms nga needed ang solution. So for example, sa knowledge building, na ay solving part. So meaning, mag-solve mo sa paper, ana, then after which, you choose on the answer. Then you solve number 2. Solve sa paper, butangag number 2. Then after which, choose your correct answer. Do the same thing with the other items. I-solve sa paper, then click ka sa imong answer nga nasa options. Kanang imuhang paper, you will take a clear picture of it. Because if the solution is needed, you need to write your solution clearly in a piece of paper, take a clear picture of it, and upload or attach it to the activity. Kung kana nga solution sa knowledge building part, sa knowledge building part i-attach. Kung kana siya na ay Google Forms ang ato ang critical thinking, then sa critical thinking part siya i-attach. Is that okay, Section 2 Confucius? Maoni naka-advantage if you will be answering Google Forms. Nga naman, magpili-pili raman mo sa mga answers. So if ever gani, nag-solve mo niya ang answer ninyo kay wala didto, there must be something wrong with your solution. So meaning, you resolve, balik mo solve, tarong solve again, then look for the answer. So that's the one thing naka-advantage ninyo sa mga online. Kaya nga naman, na may mga Google quiz forms nga akong gipanghimo. Okay? Ang Google quiz forms sa knowledge building naa, sa critical thinking naa. Ang creating maoy wala. Kay ang creating, kamumay mo create sa inyuhang own ideas ana and kamoy mo and walay i-answer nga Google Forms. I-upload ra ninyo right away sa creating part. Okay? Next. When attaching or uploading pictures, see to it that the picture is not uploaded upside down or the like. Like for example, what do you see on the screen right now? A teacher checking nga ang i-submit sa estudyante sideward. Itakilid ng laptop. Naasay teacher dali nag-check og work nga baliktad ang pagka-upload sa picture. So unsay buhaton ni teacher ana? Balihon niyang laptop para lang ma-checkan inyong work. And I did that so many times sa previous school years. I mean, pag first semester. Kay it's a waste of time mang good if I'm gonna save that, ya akong i-rotate, masayang ang oras. So what I did, akong i-rotate ang akong gadget para lang maka-check ko anang inyong output or inyong solution. So I hope when you upload pictures, see to it nga properly sakto ang picture, dili upside down, dili sideways. And lastly, submit your outputs before the deadline or on the deadline. Okay? Are there any questions about the submission of the outputs? Okay ba mo nga magamit ko Google Quiz Forms? Section 2 okay ra. Para mausa ni advantage ninyo mao ni nakanindot sa Google Quiz Forms. Okay? Pag previous SEM ba, nagamit ba yung teachers o Google Quiz Forms? Walay ni gamit o Google Quiz Forms. Naa. Okay, that's good. Kay naay ni gamit. That's good. Okay, next. This time, the Google Meet netiquettes. So these are the things that we need to consider. Mute your microphone until you want to speak. Raise your hand when you have something to say, just like at school. Listen while other classmates are talking. Be respectful and be kind. Again, I would like to emphasize on this. Mute yourself. Be on time. If you can turn on your video as much as possible, please do. But if hindrance ni nga makuhaan sa inyong load or mahinay inyong connection, because this is a possibility nga makapahinay if mo turn on inyong camera. So no problem with me if naka-off ang camera, that's okay. Come prepared to class. You sit still, be respectful, find a quiet place. Raise your hand when you want to talk,